Well, a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to another episode of The Humble Climb. I'm here today with a really good friend of mine, Ilias, known as The Doc. He owns and operates Muscle and Bone Clinic in Chatham Street, Prahran. Ilias, welcome to The Humble Climb. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. I've been waiting to be invited to this thing.
When I asked you to come on, we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now on Instagram and back and forth, and I know that you're always busy. There's always an excuse before you can get this pretty head on the pod.
A little bit old.
It's good. It's aged a bit, but it's also looking really good, man. So obviously
like
the Botox is looking really good at the moment. Don't worry, man. I'm not far off. I reckon I'm getting closer, man. I'm getting closer. Once I start, I can't stop. But I wanted to obviously get you on because we obviously I wanted to continue a bit of the sports theme. We had Ava on obviously last episode. We had Jack on last episode, Ava before that, and she's doing awesome things in F1. Jack's obviously just done this huge run for marathon. So we're continuing a bit of the sports theme a little bit as well. And you're obviously dealing with sports stars day in, day out with a whole lot of stuff. But I know you obviously through a lot of our mutual friends. But I love what you're doing down at Muscle and Bone. You've created this community and this institution, I'd almost call it now, really. So I wanted to bring you on and share some of your tips of success and how you've gone about doing it and created that whole one-stop shop service. And obviously I've had a fair few treatments in there as well.
I think you have.
I've done cupping. I've done dry needling.
Yep.
I've had a sauna.
Yep.
Because I've always got very tight calves.
They're very big.
Yeah. It's got nothing to do with...
I think it's more genetics with you.
It is. Thank you. I could not agree with
your parents for
that
that
I
one.
could not agree with you anymore. But I wanted to get straight into it, mate, and not hold any bars because I know it's Greek Easter week and it's a big week for both of us.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, Kalia Anastasi, man. Mate, so you grew up. Talk to me about it. So you grew up in where?
Yeah,
I know where you are.
I grew up in Windsor.
Yeah.
I went to school in Windsor primary school, and then I went to CBC St Kilda.
That's no longer CBC anymore, is it?
No, it's St Mary's now.
Yeah,
so it's co-ed.
So changed.
Wish it was co-ed when I was there.
Yeah. Well, I actually did a bush dance with was it PLC over the road?
PCW.
PCW, sorry,
Yeah.
It used to be over the road. We did a bush dance in year 8. And
Yeah, I remember that actually.
yeah, I did a bush dance in year 8, but I had it on Facebook a few girls, but still
Unsuccessful.
still waiting on the acceptance.
13 years later.
Standard. So at Tim
That's all
Damianos.
right. You can only wait.
No, I know. So you went to CBC.
Yep.
Which is the great Eddie guy I went to.
Yeah, exactly. Eddie Maguire, Vince Leah.
Yeah, good soccer player.
Who else? One of the best soccer players that I think was pretty much in Australia, but never really went to that level. Taspasonis.
Okay.
Amazing footballer. It was a good school, good bunch of boys. I think with schools and I'm probably going to pass this on to my kids, I think if the kid wants to learn, they'll learn. Any school, private, semi-private,
Agreed.
non-private, Greek, Orthodox, whatever school. I think it's just, it comes from the parents, what type of
Upbringing they've got.
upbringing and, what you kind of instill in them. But if you're also too hard and too pushy, kids do rebel.
Yeah, I get that.
I think my parents, they instilled, we didn't come from money. They came here from, when they were 17 and 21, worked hard, put money aside.
Always Prahran?
South Yarra first and then moved to Windsor.
Yeah.
So I was only like 2 when we moved to Windsor.
And are they still in Windsor now?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're close to the
Yeah, I live in Prahran. Yeah.
Okay.
So close by.
So you're a Chapel Street community as a kid.
Yeah. So I was a 10-year-old, bloody riding my bike up and down Chapel Street.
Yeah, well, you'd have seen it change since then to now.
Yeah, Windsor was, all you could smell was burnt coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember mum walking me to primary school and it was just like burnt coffee. Just a crazy, quiet. They had like a little food truck kind of place on the corner there where Peter Peepo is.
Yeah.
And it was just like 2-3 people having coffee, and they were mainly truckies driving through from somewhere.
I love that.
So it's changed a lot.
Especially now, I find it in particular, and going off track a little bit, but I find it, for me, I've always said that ever since Cafe Sienna left, Chapel Street's never been the same. That's what I think anyway, because we used to have so much fun times there and it was such an institution in itself. But now I kind of feel like that one side up until maybe, is it High Street or Commercial Road? The road that Hobbers on.
Commercial Road turns into Melbourne Road. Yeah.
I feel like that's up until that now is awesome and it's pumping. Everything past that is just like it feels a little bit depressing.
Yeah, you've got a few places that obviously Katrina and stuff like that kind of, Stella
Still
just
pumped.
opened.
Still open.
But I think it's Turek Road's coming back. Greville Street's definitely back.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is right near
Bond not long ago.
Yeah.
And Fishbowl just opened.
Fishbowl just opened.
That was nice as well.
Entrecôte. It's nuts down there. So
I'm a bit of a foodie. You probably wouldn't pick it.
No comment on that one. I love you for the way you are.
Oh, mate. Well, so you finished school. I mean, not a lot of people, I guess some people will normally traditionally go into a physio. We hear a lot of, but you chose the myotherapy.
Yeah, I can tell you why. I probably didn't get the score to get into physio because being so much around Chapel Street, and I was playing soccer at the time. I think I was playing just on the verge of playing seniors at Malvern, so I was 17. So I was in the reserves and then seniors sometimes. This is where the Greek has-been stories come out.
I love those ones.
Could have made it.
Yeah, me too.
This. Yeah.
Actually, man, it's scary how much I relate.
Yeah, I think we all do. There's a few of us that have made it. Could have been this, could have been that. So coming from a soccer background, I pretty much wanted to do something in health because I had a lot of injuries growing up. So I've had 3 ACLs. My first one was when I was 16. Yeah. So I did that playing for South Melbourne, and then I came back a year later, and then 2 years later, that in my year 12 year, I did my opposite leg, and we had a great school team that year with some great players, and I remember beating Silesian 5-2 at CBC's ground. It was just like played that game, did my knee the week after, and it was just a decline after that. Put on probably about 15 kilos. Hamstring injuries, had the surgery, tried to get back. It didn't go right for me. So then it came to my end of year 12 and I was thinking, what am I going to do here? Really enjoy therapy, really enjoy hands-on therapy. And my sister was an osteo.
Okay.
So she had graduated probably 2-3 years before that.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So my sister's an osteo. She's had 2 clinics in Melbourne and now she's got 1. In Newport. So I was like, didn't get the score to get into osteopathy or myotherapy or physiotherapy. Yeah. And then I decided I was like, what is myotherapy? I knew what remedial massage was. And got in, went to Kangan Batman and then RMIT. Really enjoyed it. It was, it was a fun 3 years because...
It's 3 years at Kangan?
No, 2 years at Kangan and then 1 year at RMIT.
Yeah, at RMIT where? City or?
Yeah, City.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you took it like a bit of a different path. Yeah. Well, like it wasn't your stereotypical university as in Deakin, ACU, all that type of stuff. Yeah, completely different. Because Kangan's, is it a private?
No, I think it's a semi-private. Yeah.
Like an institute.
It's like an institute. Yeah. So I was in Richmond.
They're pretty much for people like you and I that don't get the high enough scores.
Exactly right.
I love that
if we're going to be honest, yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. But then obviously now what I love more is, yes, you didn't get a high enough score in year 12, but what you have created at Muscle and Bone and the leading.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably I'm probably pumping it up more than, not more than it should. I'm pumping it up because I'm not, I get always from a friend point of view, I'm always proud and I'm always going to be biased, but the amount of people, we were just talking off air about a client of mine that I was calling him about a property and he answers the phone and sends me a photo of you because he's getting massaged by you. Like it's crazy how many people are actually now going to Muscle and Bone, whether it be for sauna or whatever it is.
It's a crazy, I think me being in the area, so I worked at Woolies as a checkout chick, then as a produce boy. Well, first started off as a trolley boy. Was very naughty. I used to be a car park behind, was still there, and I used to just throw the trolleys down and be like, what are you doing? We used to have feasts at the, hopefully no one from Woolies is listening in Prahran. We used to have feasts at the back and just
few chickens,
eat whatever we wanted. Manager would walk in, what are you guys doing? Oh yeah, we're just having a break.
I love it.
Didn't pay for anything.
I love it.
Shocking now that you think about it. But it's like, what I'm trying to say is like we started at Woolies I see people that I used to do that I used to serve as a checkout chick.
Yeah, you'd be pretty checkout chick as well, man.
No, I wasn't really as a checkout chick. You know what I mean? Like it was like, and now they're my clients. So there's that 20-year friendship or relationship.
Changed so much.
And so everything stayed in Prahran, and people are like, why have you ventured off? I did work. I worked for a clinic, Physio Works in South Melbourne. Worked for a clinic in Balaclava. Worked for a clinic in Newport. So it wasn't always in Prahran, but I just decided I'm going to go out on my own one day.
I love it. And you did a few internships type of thing, didn't you, as well?
Yeah,
like
so
experience.
Richmond Football Club.
Yep.
Your boys for a year. And then I did an internship with Hawthorn.
Yep.
But then I stayed on for another 5 years. So.
Oh, you worked at Hawthorn?
Yeah. There I was at Hawks for 08 to 11.
Just missed the premiership, is that right?
No, I saw the 08.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
08 was a premiership and 11 was.
So were you working there on the day at the premiership?
No, not on the day. No, I was only during the week.
Oh, that's okay, right. Serious question. Did you ever treat Dustin Martin?
Dusty. No.
Okay.
No.
We're both equal.
No, I've never treated him in clinic either.
We're both equal. I'm a massive Tigers fan, and I know how much you're a Saints man. Talk me through, because I know that we've obviously talked a lot off air, and as I said, we've gotten so much. Where does the idea of muscle and bone come? Because I remember sort of in our friendship, or I mean, we had different friendship groups, but we obviously hung out a bit as well. You were obviously a lot of your friends are in the hospitality, the cafes, and situation, and obviously 132 is there, Gabs.
I'm getting paid today.
So I know you've done that, but that were in hospitality, and you were probably the only real one that sort of ventured out to do his own thing that I guess wasn't in hospitality.
Yeah, I probably was the first out of the boys to do do my thing, do a thing on my own. And it was scary. I was shitting myself. I was like, "Geez, what am I doing?" But
especially the spot that you bought, took the lease out as well.
Yeah, and then
as central as it gets.
So we only had me and one of my clients who became a myotherapist because of me.
Who was
Brett Warren. Okay. He's got his own place with Jason Butler at Recovery Lounge in Port Melbourne.
Okay.
So they're doing great stuff. They're doing ice bars and stuff like that, which is a recovery side, and he's doing the myotherapy side. So it was me and Brett. It was me for a year.
Just by yourself?
Just by myself. So was paying for rent for 2 rooms and a sauna room. So only myself was in there, and I was like, fuck, I got to get someone else in here. So Brett I knew he was already kind of finishing up. He came on board. He kind of instilled my sort of type of treatment, which back then was to cause pain, to get rid of pain.
Yeah.
Now it's changed a lot. I don't hardly hurt anyone anymore.
Yeah.
It's changed.
The philosophy around it.
Yeah. We'll dive into that a little bit later. But Chatham Street was me, Brett, and it just went to another level. The building next door, which was Missy Coco's, they do great facials there. They moved, and I was like, we're not ready to do this, but do I take on this next building?
Yeah.
It's just going to double the rent, more expenses. And I probably, looking back on it, was like, what am I doing? But I did it, sacrificed a lot. And that's when Slav, the exercise physiologist, came on, and Damien, so an osteo and an exercise phys.
Are they both still with you today?
Damien's got his own place called Limber.
Yep.
So it's a good thing. Like
100%.
you're always going to lose good practitioners, but it's always great to see them do their own thing.
Absolutely.
All my practitioners that I've had.
Well, so I guess no different from you when you were doing Newport, when you were doing Balaclava, you've got to do your own thing. So obviously you've got a great breeding ground, and I think there's nothing better than when people support other people.
Yep.
It doesn't become competition. It becomes...
And I'm still friends with all of them.
Exactly.
So
I love that.
That's the main thing. You still support them, and they were there. They've been a massive, vital part of Muscle and Bone, and they've grown it. They've helped me grow it.
That's awesome. So Slav's still there? He does the exercise.
Slav is still there, So we're about to launch something pretty big, which is going to be within Muscle and Bone, but it's going to kind of weave the pathway to actually do something at a bigger venue. Which I can't say too much, but we are doing M&B training. So
it's continuing to grow.
It's continuing to grow. We've got a Chinese medicine acupuncturist now. It really is your one-stop modality. I used to refer. What makes good practitioners is if you can't fix something, if there's a myotherapist and he can't fix it, refer on.
Yeah.
Either to a sports doc, osteo. That's where I think a lot of practitioners are scared of losing a client. But by you referring to a outsource, you're just improving the client's well-being.
Yep.
You're going to get them better. You're going to get them from A to B to C a lot quicker. And it's just going to make yourself look better.
I love that. So now within your business, you've obviously got the exercise physiologist, you've got myotherapist, and a couple more other myos as well, I imagine.
Yep.
Osteo, nutritionist.
Clinical nutritionist, Monica, who is very good. She's
for someone like me.
She's a gun. Yep.
Yeah. She's putting me on the lettuce and the carrots.
Well, yeah, I think we've been to Sydney, and I think we've been to Gold Coast a few times, and I think you can not only eat, you tend to go to the loo a fair bit. So I think
you know what? You know what's funny?
I think there could be some gut issues there.
You know what it is? No, so technically, and this is completely off topic, but it's so true. And
Too many Nicholas coffees.
You know what? Please keep this in. Actually, Brados, it's I'm lactose, so I actually shouldn't be eating cheese and all that type of stuff.
But you do, don't you?
But I do, because if it's in front of me, it just looks so good. How could you say no,
That's
man?
why I love you.
Yeah, man. I'm just straight up.
Have you any other way.
Exactly. So, and also chucking a bit of IBS in there and a bit of anxiety, mate.
Probably
forget about it. I'm like,
leaky gut.
Man, I'm off and running, man. So my issues are well documented, man. Trust me.
Now everyone knows.
No, everyone knows. I put it on the record, man. That's what's the best part about it. So you've got everybody in there, this whole one-stop shop, which is awesome. So now you cross-refer and you all these practitioners, do you just sublease it, like the space out? Is that how it works?
So there's only 2 subbies. Thank God we didn't have any more than that because we would have been in a lot of trouble over COVID with the grants. So most of them are employees.
Oh, wow.
And then you've got your subbies as well. But awesome. There's a new Reiki practitioner coming on board, Alexis. So she's on board starting next month.
Okay. So you're sort of branching out into everything, really.
Yeah, so we're keeping it to the structure that we have at the moment, but we always want to add. I
remember when I used to come in as it was actually more of a test try than anything. It wasn't to actually improve. No, do you remember those the recovery boots? Have you still got them?
Still got them. Yeah. So we rent them out now. We had the ice bars, but everyone's doing it. It's like that recovery side of things. You got Recovery Lab. We were one of the first ones, and you were part of it.
Remember
Luke Pace from Tribal?
That's right.
We pretty much did a membership base, and I remember we hit, I think it was like 400 members.
Yeah.
Within 2 saunas, ice bars, recovery pumps, Game Ready. Game Ready is ice compressions, exactly like the recovery pumps or the Normatex, but you put ice in it and it compresses ice to the affected area. And Tribal was doing our marketing then and was doing all our email marketing as well, and it was crazy. It was
pumping, yeah.
And then we kind of got so busy within the clinic, it was like, do we still do it
or not? Yep.
Do we still do it? It was still great, but then you had Recovery Lab open. Every clinic had a sauna. I remember we had the sauna in 2013,
you were one of the first to have the sauna.
14.
And there was the infrared sauna as well.
Yeah, we still got the infrared, so we only got one of them. But yeah, we're just rearranging things at the clinic at the moment.
Do you think it's probably it is more of a business question. Do you think you grew too quick?
Probably grew quicker than we expected.
Like now,
and
obviously,
we made
it work, but
yeah, we made it work, but we can still make everything better.
Yeah,
there's still things that we can do. I think you can always improve things.
How much is Chatham Street going to be home for a while?
Year and a half.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
Before that space starts to exceed.
Yeah.
Because that's the vibe that I sort of pick up at the moment.
Exactly. So it's like, do we renovate? It definitely needs a renovation. Do we fix the reception area? How much can you do before you do too much and then be like, all right, no, this is not working. Let's go to the next space. So I think for us, an open space like a factory is the next thing we're going to do.
One problem is obviously rents. It's just crazy.
Rent or to buy at the moment. As you know, being in real estate, it's through the roof. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But bigger space, performance center.
Yeah.
Do your testing.
So
have your athletes. So pretty much do what we're doing, but on a bigger scale.
Have you seen by any chance the video of Ryan Pappenhausen from the Storm go over to that base? I don't know if you've seen it from the Storm. It was incredible.
Yeah,
what a
crazy,
setup.
isn't it?
Is that sort of along the lines of what you're thinking?
Yeah. So we've obviously Treating and Slav doing a lot of the performance stuff with Joe Ingles and other basketballers in the States. We've been to Utah, so we've seen their center.
Oh, so you actually went into Utah, Jess?
Yeah, so we're there for the playoffs in 2017. Yeah, so we got to go experience it, from treatments to Joe training, and it was
that's one of the things that interests me, and I wanted to get into it as well with you. Is how much, I mean, obviously as an AFL footballer at the moment, so if we use Clayton Oliver as an example, who I know comes into you quite a bit, and he's been on this podcast.
Boy,
actually, I think he's actually been in this very van. Actually, he has. Yeah,
has he?
Yeah, he has been in this van. I think you stayed in the same spot. There you go.
Nice.
It was the episode where he kicked the footy like a soccer ball into the crowd.
Yeah, I saw that podcast.
Yeah. So, but someone like him as an example, he's at Melbourne. They're a successful club. They've got money and all that. Yep. Why does someone like him come and still see you when he can get that inside the club?
Well, Clary sees me, sees Tim Sligs, who's down the road for me. He doesn't not just see me, but what I like about Clary is he's so consistent. He never, knock on wood, he never gets injured.
Yeah.
And even if he does have some sort of niggle or tightness or overload, he addresses it.
Yeah, right.
The kid, he's not a kid anymore. He finishes a game and then he goes to Amy Park and does his sauna, rolling, ice baths.
So he's just recovered.
No player does that. He's amazing. He puts in the time and effort. He's not scared to spend the money on himself because he loves investing in himself. Because he knows
so that's what it is more than anything. He's more him. Yeah, okay.
I love him. He's great to have.
Him and Petrarca almost look very similar in that. Like I followed Petrarca on TikTok.
Definitely.
And you always see how much he's always like doing something.
Yep. I told Clayton he should do some cooking on TikTok. Yeah. He reckons it won't be very good.
I'll do the cooking and the eating too.
Yeah.
That was the one of the things that I wanted to ask you as well was obviously at the moment there's a lot of people that you have come through that have got we call it the blue tick.
I think anyone can get a blue tick at the moment.
I know.
Have you heard?
I actually don't like it.
It's taken
it away.
Instagrams. Yeah, we stopped posting for a while, and everyone was like, why have you stopped posting and how are you still busy? It's like,
it's too easy.
How many Instagram models can you get in? How many, athletes now just come, I'd rather have an athlete come and pay. It's like they value your service and they value what you do because we're there not as a massage. We're there to get you from A to B to C, look at what needs to be offloaded.
Not as a post content to get other people.
No, it's like, let's get you moving better. Let's get you more efficient.
Yeah.
Let's get you recovering better.
Which I think your philosophy changes though when you do a startup business as well though. I mean, you want to, I remember, I think it was Effie actually, our friend Effie Katz, and I think when maybe her and her sister had a label back, one of the old
Zachary,
the original label.
Yeah.
I think the ones like they'd paid like a PR company for like Kim Kardashian or something to wear their stuff. As a startup, you got to do that, but it's obviously changed. But that was the one thing that I wanted to ask you is because you don't just get athletes in, you get obviously, of course, you get the models, which is great. You get DJ's Will Sparks as an example comes in, which is awesome. Yeah, and he also he trains as well down at Pulsate with the boys.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. Jossie was on here as well. He's a ball of energy. He's an animal, that guy. But you get a lot of these people that come in. Obviously, Joe Ingles is an NBA player. That's awesome again. NBA or NBL? NBA. Yeah, I get right.
Don't do that to him.
I'll be honest.
He just came back from his ACL. He's doing well.
I'll be honest with you. I don't watch any. There's one person that I follow in the NBA, and it's probably just more the thing in the ethnicity. There's Yanni Antetokounmpo.
He plays with him.
Yeah, exactly, which is amazing. And especially now they're at the Bucks.
Yep,
but
they're seated number one. So they're.
How much has all that helped the business? As in when it was those people. So your Joe Ingles, Will Sparks.
Well, wasn't that? It started from a lovely friend of mine, Monica Clark. Love it a bit. She's living in New York at the moment. How it started was
Monica Clark. I remember her. We used to go for coffee with her at Hobber.
You sure did.
I remember her.
Yeah, lovely girl. So she was one of the first kind of influencers, models that came in. And back then, no one really paid for influencers. I've never paid an influencer in my life. So you hear about certain places, I won't mention their names, but they pay $5,000, $2,000, $1,000.
And now you can see it on people's Instagram.
Yeah,
so you know when they've got like 10,000 followers, but then they get 32 likes on a photo? I know it's really bad to say that, but you actually can see it.
Yeah, it's visually, it's like,
and it just doesn't look good. But anyway, that's off topic.
Doesn't look great. So she came in, then she sent in Steph Claire Smith, who I've become really good friends with over the years, and Laura Henshaw. And those girls have taken their business to another level, crazy level. Wow. Great girls, down to earth. And it just grew from then. Yeah. Then you had another one come in. So it was mainly those girls that came in. And then Reece Stanley came in because his lovely wife now would come in and just became, athletes weren't really from the gram. It was more from, me treating a lot of them at Hawthorn, Richmond, me, Slav, and Damien all come from footy and soccer backgrounds. So you'd meet people along the way, and you'd meet performance coaches, sports doctors that will refer to you.
I love that.
And that's where you get your athletes. You'd hit an athlete up sometimes on Instagram. We've all done that. Some would come in, some won't.
I've slid into so many DMs, it's scary. About the humble climb, though. But as long as they fit the brief. You got to fit the brief.
If you want me to help you out?
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely. We're all about it. As long as I fit the brief. I've always said that I don't want to just get a blue tick on that. There's no arrogance on here. So you can't sit opposite if you're arrogant.
You just got to say it how it is.
Say it how it is. Be genuine. Be yourself. Be authentic. Exactly. And which is why a lot of people come to you because you've always had that personality, which is I'd almost say cheeky, but funny, but silly. But amazing, but the most amazing business mind I've always come across as well. Very genuine. Like I've always, when I first met you or when we first started hanging out, I was like, man, I don't get this guy, man. He's such a larrikin, but he's got so much drive. Do you know what I mean? That's probably the best way to sum you up almost.
And I think you lose that drive sometimes. So I won't lie to you. I've definitely been like, I'm going to sell this place. I can't be bothered anymore. Yeah, no. But then what are you lose the love. But then you watch a seminar or you talk to someone, and you see something else that someone else is doing, and you're like, fuck, I can do that way better.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's who you have around you. I'm funny. All my clients love me because I'm funny, but it's even better when you get them from, they come in and they're like, oh, I just saw Jonathan Barre or another surgeon and they have surgery for this disc issue. Let's try this over the next 2-3 sessions. I'll work on 2-3 sessions. It's not about bringing them in every week for the next 10 weeks.
How much are you consistently not investing money-wise, but investing into the philosophy of what you do?
Oh, weekly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do.
Like, what is it? Readings? Is it seminars? Is it
seminars,
YouTubes?
Online seminars.
Yeah. Okay.
I do a lot of online stuff from the States.
Just learning new practices and all that type of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So all my stuff's done from webinars in the States.
I always wondered that because you're always almost, we call it in real estate sharpening, like we train every Tuesday because we call it sharpening the axe.
Yep.
So that, you know what you're doing and staying on top of things. Is that similar to you?
Very similar.
Yeah. I love that.
So you obviously have to do a certain number of PD points. So you do them here in Melbourne or Australia-wide, but I just find the ones in the States. I'm more of a visual person. I need to watch it a few times.
Me too, yeah.
I gather the information. I take what I want, but then I kind of create my own little style, my own little boogie from it.
Boogie?
My own little boogie. I used to love a boogie.
That's awesome. No, I love that. And the Chapel Street community in itself, because obviously one of the boys that's going to be coming on here, I think you know him, James Carra. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's obviously a very great. He's
both our horses won at Moonee Valley one night.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah, you're both into the call them the studs. I don't want to call them studs, ponies, whatever you want to call them. Yep. I'm more of a donkey guy.
You are Greek.
It's Greek, that's why.
You are Greek.
But so James Carra, and he's obviously always been around the Prahran area as well. Yep. He's as thick and thin. And I've always sort of understood the Prahran area through him, because it is such a big area that everybody gets around each other quite a bit. Probably similar a little bit to how we are in Oakley now. But how much does that help your business?
Yeah. Well, going to James Carra, I played juniors with him. Soccer. Okay, I played with him at Caulfield from the age of 7 to 12.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the community in itself has helped me, because you would go to a barbershop, you'd go to Brother Wolf, you'd go to King's Domain.
Yeah.
Then you go to a coffee shop. They'll get to know you. So then you got Sonny's Gym, you got Revel, all these gyms that refer to us. You're friends with all of them. You go to all of them. It's changed so much.
And you got to spread the love, I think, as a business brain as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like if you're in business, you can't just be supporting the one people. That's what I've always thought.
You got your cafes. You got Hobart. A lot of our friends own cafes. 132. You got Prahran around the corner. So it's like, it's a community and we do stuff all together. Freddy's Pizza is another big one. Dan, shout out to Dan from CBC.
Is he just next to 132? No, is he
further down? Yeah.
Is he more closer to the old Topels area?
Tokatina, right next door.
That's right, Tokatina. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dan's great. And those Italian boys are doing great things.
So it's just continuing to climb. Where do you because again, I'm always conscious of your time, so I can't appreciate enough. But where do you see Muscle and Bone being in the next sort of 5 years?
Next 5 years. So we're about to launch this new kind of train at Muscle and Bone, which will be Rehab, but you can come have a membership. So if that grows and we're going to do like a membership base and then we're going to have like a recovery, the membership, how this is going to be different to any other membership, that membership is going to entitle you to treatment on a Sunday.
All right. Okay.
So it's going to entitle you to offloading certain areas of your body.
So does that mean that you now go 7 days?
Yeah, it will be 7 days.
Yeah, okay.
I won't be there 7 days.
Yeah, of course. But there'll be certain myos that'll be on a Sunday.
Exactly. Sunday, Saturday.
And you sign up like a membership base.
Yep, it'll be extended hours. So the gym area and the facility will be open more to 9-10. Nice. But yeah, we'll dive into this on our next podcast.
I love that because that's always been my my pet peeve. I just can't seem to find a gym that's 24 hours. So we'll open late enough. Look, I'll give it a minute. Maybe I'll see.
You can get Slav doing your program.
Yeah, and
Monica doing your gut health.
Yeah. Well, we need that. That's for sure. What's the I always like to ask somebody what's the biggest issue with your industry?
Yeah, good question. The biggest issue with our industry I think it's people doing the same bloody thing over and over again on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it's the people just trying to showing all these things they do, like cupping, scraping, needling. It's great. Yeah, we do it all. Yeah. But it's like, it doesn't need to be done all the time. There needs to be a reason and a scientific background of why you're implementing these measures. But yeah, that's the only thing. And then another thing is certain number of people have got their opinion and have become a professional in certain dietary things, in certain, physical
with no
aspects,
physical background,
with no scientific and no, university background. So a lot of people have got opinions and they've become a master in dietetics. They've become a master in physiology overnight.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you've done the reading, but why are you talking about all these things? And it angers me, it pisses me off, but it's like, whatever. I don't say anything. It's like, yeah, people will still follow you, but us coming from a university background and, a scientific background, we look at it and we're like, yeah, okay, you've got quite a few followers, you've got a podcast maybe, but it's pretty cringe. So if you start talking about dietetics and you start talking about, improving movement, I'll hit you up.
The only thing that I'll say to you is, if you have a gyro or a souvlaki with no tzatziki, mate.
Where's your favourite gyro?
At the moment, probably it would be Peter Rappert in Peter
so
Rappert.
You've gone back there now.
Massive fan of them. Yeah.
I used to go there.
Yeah, Peter Rappert in Huntingdale. He's probably my favourite.
I'm still Gallimetta.
You're Gallimetta guy. Yeah, look, we're lucky. The thing is, we're probably too blessed around here anyway, with a lot of options. And we always like to finish with the humble three. So it's a standard 3 questions that we ask now. It's always sponsored by, of course, Gigi Hair and Kids, who's nice. our local hairdresser for salon for boys' cuts, men's cuts, women's cuts, kids' cuts, you name it. So when there's a few Iliases running around the place, if there's not already, when there's a few Iliases running around the place, you'll be going down and seeing Marissa and she'll be cutting the little one's hairs. Nice. And she's just in Berkeley Street in Huntingdale, so she's an absolute boss. So the standard 3 questions that we ask, proudly presented by the Gigi Hair and Kids mob down there, is first one being, if you weren't doing your current occupation, what would you potentially be doing and why?
Own a club.
Can you not change that answer? Because that is awesome.
Started clubbing when I was 16.
Yeah.
Got busted coming out of a revolver by my mum. My mum was doing the shopping downstairs at the grocery shop. And 16 years old.
Mate,
Used to love.
Please never, ever, ever change that answer. So that is
I won't
awesome.
change that answer.
Your biggest inspiration, is there a particular inspiration? I mean, we always say if it's outside of the family, who do you take inspiration from? But if there's not, completely fine. You can go inside the family. We just try to alleviate the responses from the traditional mum and dads.
Yeah. Outside of the family.
But if there's not, it's going to be mum and dad.
I can't really pick one. A big inspiration, Kelly Starrett from the States. He's got the Ready State.
Okay.
I follow and I watch a lot of his webinars, met him a few times in the States, and he's amazing. He does a lot of, offloading, foam rolling, like specialization. He's great. Follow him. What he's doing in the States is amazing. His business is, another level.
I love that. That's two from two, to be honest. Two really good answers. Last one that we always ask is if you could own a billboard. So in your end, we're going to go Chapel Street. You're probably having the billboard on top of 132, maybe?
Nah.
Where would you have the billboard? Oh, Jam Factory.
Nah. Busiest side. Corner, Dandenong Road and Chapel Street.
All right. So where the Shell is.
Yep, where the Shelley's, the other side.
Yeah, okay.
Astor Theatre.
Yeah, okay.
Right there.
If you could have a billboard, what would it say and why?
A picture of me and it would be saying, I've come to clean your pool with a moustache. That's what it'll say. Because you got to have laughter. No one's going to look at something inspirational.
Man, I love
people
you.
down there in that road, they're going to laugh, and then it's going to have muscle and bone. Or could have my other two sub businesses down there, which we haven't dived in, but we'll dive in next time because they're on the.
Well, that's Strengthen You, one of them.
Yeah, Strengthen You. We sold out with Slav, and another lady bought in, and I've just actually bought in the other day. So now we're doing custom orders. Strengthen You is performance equipment, mini bands, power bands. Foam rollers.
I remember when you were doing that when we went to Gold Coast for the Money and Sport conference.
Did a seminar.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So we did a seminar. So that went nuts over COVID and went to another level.
Yeah.
We sold.
So that's still doing well?
So it did fantastic, and then it kind of hit a stumbling block yet again. Me and Slav, who's the exercise phys, and a very good friend of mine, we got so busy we couldn't really invest in it anymore. We'll just, and I think we're a bit more control freaks. I think you got to learn to not be a control freak.
Yeah,
you got to have a good team around you. You got to spend the money on your marketing a little bit. You got to spend the money on your admin. I think that's where
alleviate some of that stress as well.
Alleviate the stress and pay people to do these things. And I think that's what I need to get better at as well.
Yeah,
in business. And then the other one is Naughty Body, which is my practitioner cream.
Wow.
So we're doing a practitioner cream, which is for practitioners, because I hated everything on the market. It was either too waxy, too greasy, too sticky, and it just pissed me off. A lot of the practitioners that I speak to are still using oil or sorbeline.
Yeah, wow.
Shout out to all those physios that use sorbeline.
So you've created this Naughty Body?
Yes, I created it, and then obviously we've got a biochemist who pretty much puts it together. My ideas, her ideas, combine them together.
I love that. And now you're using that out of...
Yeah, Muscle and Bone, and there's another 3-4 clinics that are using it.
That's awesome.
And then we've got a heat cream and a cooling cream. Heat cream for your muscles, cooling cream for your joints and for your inflammation of tendons and ligaments.
This is what I mean. Like, the guy's the biggest larrikin that you can ever picture. Like, he's just said he'll...
Don't judge a book by its cover.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. This is why I love doing what we're doing, because people...
look funny?
No, you don't look...
Going a bit bald.
You don't look funny.
Well,
You are funny, but...
We'll go to Turkey. Put some hair
A mate of mine just got back from Dubai.
Come to Dubai, Habibi.
A mate of mine just came back from Dubai, and no one knew where he was. And I was like, man, he's not answering calls or anything. What's going on here? Turns out he went to Dubai for a hand transplant. So I'm like, you know what, cool, man. But no, that's what I love about this, because it brings out people that you wouldn't, let's delve a little bit deeper, and those people that go to Muscle and Bone will understand a little bit as well as to, okay, well, this is the guy that, this is what making of is.
Yeah, I think you can have a laugh in life. It's very important to laugh. But I think it's having laughter and then doing your job seriously and being honest and being nice to your friends and to your family. And we could be corporates of that sometimes. We could be our own worst enemy in doing those things. I think it's, life's a learning circle. And if you don't learn, you'll never grow. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, you'll never grow. And we all learn that. I'm getting pretty deep and meaningful here.
I don't understand where is Ilias P and who was brought him.
Actually, you know what? Take that back. My billboard would be, I'm Ilias P, don't fuck with me. That used to be my MySpace.
That is
cringe.
Awesome, man.
That was
I love
so loserish.
On that note, that is the best way to probably finish Ilias P. And quite genuinely, I can't thank you enough, obviously,
thank you
for coming down, because we've been friends and we've been talking about it for a little while. And I love shining lights on businesses of people that have climbed their humble journey.
Yep.
And you're as humble as it seriously gets. So I can't thank you enough for coming on. I love you. I'm proud of you.
I love you too,
I always will be. And I'm looking forward to coming down for a sauna and a treatment probably soon.
Yeah. Make sure you don't wear those budgie smugglers, all right?
I'll be going with nothing. Did I ever tell you just quickly about the time where I was in Austria? And I was doing a sauna.
Don't want to hear about this?
This was a steam room. I was in a steam room or a sauna, something like that in Austria. But it was illegal to go in with anything but like you had to go nude. So anyway, I went in my jocks. This is a true story. I'm not joking. I was on Kentucky. I went into my jocks. Someone knocked on the window, on the glass, obviously. He's like, mate, you can't be in here with anything, because they didn't want any clothing or anything like that to be sitting on the seats.
Did you get it out?
100% I did.
Anaconda?
Mate, no comment. No comment, mate. I tell you what, I literally, I was like, man, I can't believe this guy's actually being serious. Anyway, it's a legit rule.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm looking forward to coming down for a sauna, because it's been a little while and I need to get some treatment, because obviously I've always had osteitis pubis, obviously from footy days. So,
we know that. We've treated you down in those rooms. We've done those adductors.
Adductors, man. I've always had the top hip flexors, actually.
Hip flexors are part of it. It's usually glutes and hamstrings that you need to load more.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got nothing to do with my weight.
I'll be telling, look, we won't pick on you, but you know what you need to do. You just need to implement it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, eat more carbs. On that note,
no, actually, I won't say that. On
that note, I love and leave yous. Thank you so much for continuing to like, comment, subscribe. It's how we grow. I can't thank Ilias again for coming on. I'm so proud of him, and I love shining light on people's businesses. This is exactly what the Humble Climb is all about. Continue to tune in. Any questions, feel free to drop us a like and questions. But we look forward to rolling it up. And thanks to Brados for again another Ripper episode.